The story begins with two boys slowly making their way toward the entrance of the cafeteria, while one of them is trying to stop the other by telling him that he will get hurt and asking him what he will do if he is mistaken. We see them spying on Kim Soo and his minions, one of whom offers Kim a cigarette and then starts smoking, while the boy continues that a guy is coming out of prison soon, at which Kim Soo says that he should have screwed up that guy a long time ago. Meanwhile, one of the two boys who were spying on them declared that he had to check it out. It has been said that school is a space for educating young students to become decent members of society. However, it smelled of violence and crime. Bullies used to educate others directly about the bad habits that they had learned. So why does this learning space actually teach? This place has become a little political arena. The students who are labeled as school fists are not just at the top of the list. They are also a group that does not get bullied. They stand at the top just because they can hit a little better than the others. Kim Soo is one of them who hits anyone who he does not like. They are not much different from daily life where they are way too strong for the weak. Nam Ji, a freshman at Dami Young School, determines that his test target today is to be competent. In the hallway, he sees Kim Soo bullying others and contemplates that these kinds of guys are the same no matter where you go, and at least from his understanding, the laws of bullies always hold true. He walks straight towards Kim Soo and recalls the law of the bully, which is that the soldiers of a bully are his pride. He bumps his shoulders into Kim Soo's shoulder and recalls the law of the bully too. If you touch their pride, then they will start punching. As he bumped into Kim Soo, he started cursing him and threw a punch at him, which he dodged by leaning backward. His friend, watching this while hiding beside a wall, was surprised at this. After dodging, Nam Gil apologizes to Kim Soo, saying that he was spacing out and then accidentally bumped into him. He then puts his hand on his shoulder and says that he has not seen him for a year. So how has he been? Kim Soo curses him while saying that it has indeed been a long time. So what the hell is he doing here? The law of the bully. 3 states that anyone easygoing should crawl under the bully's feet. Just then, one of their friends, Kim Yu, tells him to don't fight with this bastard and that they should get going. Kim Soo shook off his hand and threw a punch at Nam Gil while shouting that he was pissing him off. Nam Gil dodges it and asks him if he has an anger problem. Kim Soo was embarrassed at this and went right at Nam Ji with a jab, but to his surprise, Nam Ji simply caught his hand and asked him if he did not know how to say nice things and could only throw punches at people and take pride in beating up weak people while pretending to be strong. He continues that he is an ignorant bastard and knocks him out with a right hook while recalling the law of the bully 4, that a bully cannot pull himself together until he gets beaten. Upon witnessing this, the guy with Kim Soo also rushed towards Nam Ji, who avoided the first guy and punched the other guy straight in the face while ducking to avoid his fist. Then, as the first guy tried to grab him in a hold, he crouched, hit his abdomen with his elbow, and then quickly threw him on the ground. By then, Kim Soo has already gotten up and is running straight at him again, but Nam Ji blocks his fist, jabs him in the face, and then quickly gets behind him and gives him a German suplex on the hard cement floor of the hallway. All the students were surprised by this, and Nam Ji simply said that while looking down on Kim Soo and his friends, he does not understand why the assailants sleep with their feet out, and victims like him always have to hold their breath. They have to suffer. They have to run away. They shake in fear. And isn't this so unfair? Kim Soo keeps cursing him, and then he sees a wooden mop, so he tries to pick it up and goes at Nam Ji again, who then recalls the law of the bully 5, which says that a bully is ugly to the end. Upon seeing Kim Soo come at him with a wooden mop, Nam Ji says that it is a weapon, and if something goes wrong, then he will die. He then simply dodges his attack and punches him straight in the face, which causes his nose to start bleeding, and Kim Soo falls to the ground. After that, Nam Gil tells Kim Soo that he is just like them, and so he is going to change him to the very nook and cranny of his rotten roots. After all this, he asks his friend Ha Bin to go to the snack bar with him. Namji witnesses himself to be in a room with several other men, and he asks if it is still working. One of the men responds that he cannot seem to get it. Then he panics because of the heavy banging at the door, and suddenly the door breaks open, and lots of thugs with baseball bats come rushing in, and he starts fighting them. Then he gets a call, and as he is talking on the phone, a man shoots him in the back. We see him wake up surprised, then realize that it was just a dream, and he recalls that he has seen this dream many times before. He recalls that it started a year ago, when one day he woke up and then asked his mom why she did not wake him up, as he told her to wake him up at 8. His mom replied that she shook him for 5 minutes, but he still did not wake up. She asked him if he was forgetting something, to which he replied that he was not, and then his mom started beating him, saying that he should be more attentive and what if he left his medicines behind. Namgil recalls that it was unusually warm that day, and he tried to sneak into the class, but the teacher caught him and asked him why he was late on the first day of school. But to Namji's surprise, the teacher said that since it was the first day, he would let it go, but he should not be late anymore. Namji sat next to Ha Bin, who ignored him as he was trying to talk with him. The teacher then told them more about their new school, Dami Young High School, called it a T school, introduced himself as their homeroom teacher of the year, and told them not to get into any trouble. As Namji is thinking that he is smelling cigarettes somewhere around, just then a boy comes next to him, grabs Ha Bin, and tells him that he is surprised that he is in the same grade and class as him, and tells him to take care of his bread and allowance for this year. Then he turned around to Namji and told him he was seeing him for the first time, so they should get along for this year, and he introduced himself as Cha-Ong Tai. Cha-Ong then walked out of the classroom and called his friend Ong Sang-ki and asked him which class he was in, and that he was in the same class as Ha Bin, so they did not need to worry about the price of cigarettes, PC room, and alcohol. Asang was also happy to hear it. During break time, Namji sees that Ha Bin is eating alone, so he sits next to him and tells him that since they are partners, they should have lunch together, as he does not have anyone else to eat with. Ha Bin gets up and tells him that he will go first. Namji asks him if he is done already, to which he replies that he should not hang out with him, because if he does, then he will also get in trouble. He started walking towards the exit, but as he was walking, a boy tripped him, and he fell over. Cha-Ong shouted at him that he had dirtied his uniform, then abused him and started beating him up while cursing him. Seeing this, Namji gets up and runs over to him while telling him that it is too much and he should stop. But it seems like Cha-Ang was waiting for this, and he immediately kicks Namji in the stomach and tells him that he will have to pay for his laundry fee, which is 300,000 won, until next Monday, so he should not be late, and if he feels pressured, he can go and collect it with Ha Bin. He then gets up while calling his glasses and asks what his name is, but then tells him to forget about it and tells him that he is his bank from this day onwards. Cha-Ang's friend tells him that it is a perfect idea for pocket money. Ha Bin thought that he got Namji in trouble as well, and Namji walked up to him and told him they should go to the bathroom, as their uniforms were dirty. Just then, he suddenly felt a lot of pain, so he grabbed his stomach. Ha Bin got worried and asked if he was all right. He replied that he was okay, and thought that it was hurting a lot more than he thought, and then he took out a medicine and ate it. As he was eating the medicine, a tall boy bumped into him from behind and told him to get out of the way. Namji immediately stepped aside and wondered if this boy was a high school student, as he was already 107 meters tall. The tall guy started walking up in the hallway while shouting that traffic control had started. He went into a classroom and said that if there was a good guy, then they should go out of the classroom. One of the thugs was looking for him, but the giant guy punched him straight in the face and knocked him out. Then he went to class 9, and the punks there were surprised that an idiot had opened doors this hard, so he walked up to them and started beating the guy in front. The other thugs shouted that they should attack him once, and the giant simply grabbed the two boys, picked them up, and threw them on the floor. Another boy who was trying to hit him with a chair was kicked away. The giant then goes into Class 8 and abuses the thugs there, who ask if he is crazy and if he does not know who they are, but before they can say anything else, they are all beaten up by the giant. The other students were recording this from the hallway. The giant repeated the same thing in Class 7, then in Classes 6 and 5, and then he went inside Class 4 and said that it does not matter who you are, but if you are a good boy, then you should get out of there. He then announces that if anyone wants to fight, then they should come forward. Otherwise, this class is his shuttle. But a blonde guy calls him to the roof while saying that this is annoying. On the roof, the blonde boy asks the giant if his name is Pyongjun, and then asks him why he is so shirtless on the first day of school. And then it continues on, that in this school there are mostly thugs, so he should not act like this. But the giant simply rushes towards him, shouting that it seems like he is confident in taking him on. The blonde boy replies that he should see for himself if he is confident or not. The blonde boy avoids the giant's fists and punches him in the stomach, then avoids him again, hits him in the face, and then quickly rushes down a ton of punches at him. All the students were surprised at this, as the giant was falling behind. Kwan Ho Kwang and his friends were also seeing this, and one of his friends said that this guy was good at it and wondered who was going to win. The other guy says that it does not matter who wins, and that H. Kwang is an idiot, and then asks if they should wipe them all out here. Kwang argues that one side is too overwhelming. One of the boys said that there is always something wrong with fighting, but it's not a difference that he can change. And as they were talking, we saw that the giant was still getting punched by the blonde boy. News spread in all the classes that there was a fight going on the roof, so Nam-ji also came to the roof to see it. And to his surprise, the giant that he bumped into in the cafeteria was getting overpowered by a blonde boy who was nearly Nam-ji's size. Kang Ho and his friend were still debating who was going to win. His blue-haired friend said that the blonde-haired boy was going to win because he was avoiding it all and hitting him continuously, while Kwang Ho told him that the blonde-haired guy had been at a disadvantage since the beginning of the fight, as the giant only needed one hit and he would win. We see the giant fall on his knees, and the blue-haired guy tells Kwang Ho that he should have made a bet. Upon seeing the giant on his knees, the blonde guy starts mocking him, but the giant suddenly tackles him, saying how could he think that it was over and telling him that he let his guard down. After putting the blonde boy on the floor, the giant punched him in the face, knocked him unconscious, and then began to walk away. Just then, Kang Ho starts asking his blue-haired friend for 50,000 won, who tells him that he did not make a bet. Kwang Ho tells him to make a bet now, to which he replies that he cannot make a bet after it is all over. A week has passed since that incident, and Nam-ji is changing his clothes in the washroom for the PE class. Just then, Cha-ang comes looking for him and asks if he has brought the money, to which he replies that he did not, as he does not have the money. Cha-ang tells him that if he did not have money, he should have made and brought it, or he could have saved it together with Ha-bin. Nam-ji starts crying and asks why he is doing this to him, as he has made him and Ha-bin a mockery for this past week, and he would beat them whenever there were spectators around. Cha-ang became angry at this and started beating him up. Just then, Kang Ho enters the washroom with the giant and the blonde boy and asks Cha-ang what he is doing. Cha-ang tells him that he is just in time and tells Nam-ji to say hi to his friends. Nam-ji is surprised to see them together and he wonders what happened in the last week. In a flashback, we see that the blonde boy is in his class when the giant appears there, and as they are going to fight again, Kwang Ho opens the door of the class and says that he is happy to find them both here. He tells them it will be a piece of cake for him even if it is a 2 versus 1. The blonde boy instantly rushes at him to punch him while cursing him. Kwang Ho simply catches his fist and tells him that he has seen him on the roof, and his punches are not up to the bar, and then proceeds to knock him out in 2 punches. He then rushes towards the giant and beats him as well, and that's how he took control of the school, and no one dared to challenge him. Every bully in the school tried to get close to Kwang Ho, and Cha Ang was no exception. Kwang arrives there and tells Cha Ang to treat his money with care, after which Cha Ang tells Nam Ji that he should be thankful to Kwang Ho, as because of him he is letting him go today. After a while, we see Cha Ang and his friends looking at pictures of a girl named Yui. She lived in the same neighborhood as Cha Ang, and he bullied her as well in the past when they were little. As Yui was walking in the hallway, she saw Cha Ang hitting Nam Ji with a ball, and as he was continuously doing it, he missed the aim, and the ball hit Yui. Cha Ang immediately came and apologized to her, saying that he did not mean to hit her. She told him to apologize to Nam Ji, but as he remembered her face, she tried to put his hand on her shoulder. He did not recognize her at first, but her friend pushed him away. Yui then asked Nam Ji if he was okay. Nam Ji told her that he was okay, and he should be the one asking her that, as she was the one who got hurt. Cha Ang left the place but was angry. After a while, as Yui was telling others that her math homework had been stolen from her bag, Cha Ang walked past her while taking a picture of her skirt. Later, Nam Ji catches Cha Ang and the other boys in the washroom seeing that picture. He thinks that this is a crime and is thinking about what he should do, but Cha Ang spots him and Ha Bin, then drags him, asks why he is here, and tells him that he just acts like a saint in class, but is now showing his true colors. At this, Nam Ji curses him, saying that he is not trash like them. At this point, they all start beating him, but he is saved as one of the students spots the school president in the hallway. Later that day, the teachers hand out pamphlets to all the students saying that they are holding a survey regarding school bullying. They tell the students that there is no need for them to be afraid, and they should write down the facts if they have seen someone getting bullied, or if they know a gang or an individual who does it. The bullies kept staring at everyone, and victims were not the only ones who were afraid of their eyes. In the end, no one wrote anything. During the lunch break, Yuri calls out to Yui, asking her if she wants to go and eat lunch with her. Yui replies that she does not have enough money, which Yuri says is going to be her treat, and they both begin walking towards the cafeteria. As they were walking through the hallway, Yuri noticed that some boys were giggling and having fun while pointing at Yui, so she told her to go ahead and that she would be there in a while, as she had forgotten her phone in the classroom. Yuri arrives in the class of those boys and asks them to show the photo on their mobiles which they were seeing, to which one of the boys replies that it is nothing, and she should go back to her class. Yuri tells them that they should show her the mobile if it is nothing, to which one of the boys yells at her, "Why is she telling them to do this and that, and does she know who they are?" Yuri kicks him in the gut and shouts at them that she does not know who they are, and she does not care about it either, and tells them to just answer her question. She then tells them that it is their last chance to show her what photo is on their mobile, which Cha Sung-tai shot. The boy tells her that he has no idea what she is talking about and tries to hit her, but Yuri punches him in the face and beats him up using the metal rod, then picks up the phone and sees the picture. Her anger knew no bounds after seeing this, and she went straight to Cha Ang-tai, who was sleeping in his class. She threw a chair at him and then punched him in the face. He yells at her, calling her a crazy. Cha-tae shouts at her that he has never liked her before, and it looks like he is still in elementary school while rushing toward Yuri. Yuri simply dodges his fist and kicks him in the stomach, causing him to fall to his knees. She then tells him that it does not look like he is in elementary school anymore, as he is a much bigger scum and trash than he used to be. She asks him if it is fun for him to bully those weaker than him, and then asks him if he thinks that what he did to Yui is a joke. He then grabs his head and kicks him in the face while yelling that it is all a joke now, and that what she is going to do is a joke, and keeps asking him if it is fun while beating him up. She then yells at him, saying she cannot forgive what he did to Yui. All the other students started laughing at Cha-tae, saying that he was getting beaten up by a girl. Yui arrives in the class and calls out to Yuri and asks her what happened. Yuri thinks to herself that she cannot tell Yui about it, and then she tells her that she has to go somewhere now and she will have ice cream later. Meanwhile, all the other students started mocking Cha-tae by saying that he was just a weak guy, that they used to be afraid of him for no reason, and that they could easily beat him. Yuri goes to the staff room and tells the math teacher about everything. The teacher then calls Cha-tae to the staff room and tells him that from today he will be subject to disciplinary actions following the committee summons. He tells him that for the next 30 days he will need to go to the volunteer site, and after that he will fill up the front and back of 10 sheets and come back to school every day for an exam. The teacher tells him to reflect on his actions and tells him to get out of the staff room now. Cha-ong makes up his mind that he will get his revenge on Ha-bin, Nam-ji, and Yuri. Ha-bin and Nam-ji were on cleaning duty, and once they finished cleaning up the classroom, just then Yui and Yuri arrived in the class and asked them if they were finished. They tell them they have finished it, and then they all together go to eat food. As they were all having fun, Ha-bin became sad and told them that it had been a long time since he had a meal with someone like this, and while hesitating he asked them why they were being nice to him. Yui tells him that just because he is nice and why is he trying to find a reason for it, they can just be friends. Yuri tells him that he is so much better than those guys who act like stalkers to Yui and the bullies like Cha-ong-tae. Ha-bin begins to tear up upon hearing this. Seeing him cry, Yui also starts crying. Yuri immediately tells Ha-bin that he shouldn't cry, as Yui cries when she sees someone else crying and they should just enjoy the food. Nam-ji thinks to himself that this is so good. A school that is easy to attend, friends who have lunch together are just an ordinary routine, but it's not natural, and he realizes it too late. Suddenly he let out a shout due to the pain that started in his chest. Everyone panicked and Yuri asked him what was wrong. He calmly replied that they did not have to worry and his heart used to be weak and he forgot to take his medicine on time. Yui tells them that he should visit the hospital, but Nam-ji tells her not to worry about it. They all went to school under police protection for 1 month and everything seemed normal. He managed to stay safe because of it, but then he thought that the thing that Cha-ong-tae did with Yui was clearly a sexual offense, but for some reason no one brought it up later, and because of this, they were more afraid as they cannot be protected by police 24 hours a day. He thinks to himself that they are in constant danger of retaliation whenever policemen are not with them, and one day on their way back after school late at night, his thoughts became reality as Cha-tae came in front of them with a bunch of boys and blocked their path. Cha-ong-tae asks them how they have been. He tells them to follow him if they don't want to get hurt. Some of the guys noticed the phone in Yui's hand, took it and threw it away, saying that there was no need to call the police. Nam-ji and Ha-bin get surrounded by the boys, and Cha-tae slaps Yuri while calling her and shouting at her why isn't she doing anything now. Yui got worried at this, but Yuri told her not to worry and to stay behind her. Yuri thinks to herself that this coward cannot do anything by himself, and that is why he came here with these many people. She thinks that even if she wanted to kill him now, she cannot do it, as she does not know what is going to happen here, and she cannot ask for help either, as she does not have any money. But then she sees some metal rods lying next to her, and she decides that she can create a chance for them to run away. Cha-tae slapped her again while she was busy in her thoughts and asked her why she wasn't saying anything now, and said that it was all her fault that he got in trouble, and he recalled how he got beaten up by Kwang-ho because Yuri beat him up before. His Kwang-ho told him that he does not like such a loser, and how he begged him to forgive him while promising him that he will do anything he asks, and how all the other boys saw it. He then pushed her away and said that if it were not for her, such a dark day would not have happened in his life. Yui yells that it is their fault, and now, like cowards, they have surrounded them and are trying to assault them. Cha-tae tells her to shut up, and while laughing says that she should take care of herself first, and that he is going to distribute those photos everywhere now. Yui asked him what it meant, and the boy started laughing, saying that she did not even know about it. So Cha-tae said that he would show it to her himself, and took out his phone, and as he was going to show it to Yuri picked up a metal rod and smacked Cha Sung-tae on his head and told all of them to get lost. At this, the boy started to rush towards her, but she beat them up using the metal rod. While guarding the others, thought that it was Yui who was in trouble here, and these bastards surely had a purpose for which they brought them here. She then tells Yui, Namji, and Ha-bin that they remember seeing the Cheongdae market on their way here, and it will not take long for them to reach there. She is going to break through the road, so they all should run for the market. Namji was admiring Yuri while watching her back. She was a glimmer of hope for them to escape here, and how calm she could be in such a situation while he was unable to think about anything. But then he got hit by reality, as Kwang Ho appeared out of nowhere telling Cha-tae that he could not even do such a little task. He punched Yuri in the face, telling her to get some sleep, and Yuri fell unconscious. The guys started to beat up Namji and Ha-bin, and then some of them looked at Yui while saying that they could not believe that she was the same Yui they saw on SNS. They said that she looked even prettier at night, and they could not stand it, and they all walked towards her while snatching away her coat. And Namji, while lying on the ground, kept yelling no, and that they should stop, but then everything darkened. He then woke up in a hospital room 3 months after the incident. In a dark alley, we see Namji all beating up some boys. One of the boys was shouting at others to hold this bastard and get him, but they all got beaten up by him, and he was taken back by this development. Truncated part here, continuing the pattern with the remaining content. As from below, and the match is already over from the moment he hits him, as boxing alone will not be enough to beat him. As he was saying this, Seo Dong came at him with lightning speed and punched him in the face so hard that he fell to his knees, then asked what the hell he was talking about. Kwan Ho praises Seo Dong for the great work. Seo Dong says that while he is happy about the work being done, he is not very thrilled about getting hit like he got hit, and that he would have sent Kongdae to the hospital if it weren't for the plan Kwan Ho told him about earlier. We then get to know about the plan that the two had discussed earlier. Outside while smoking, Kwan Ho suggested to get more people for the kusit to Seo Dong, who had thought that it was overkill and that they already have enough people. However, Kwan Ho suggested that in order to take over the second years as well, which was his intention, they must gather more people. Young Suk of Daemong High School is known to be incredibly strong, and to get ahead of him and his group called Neom, they must work hard. Kwan Ho suggested that even if they tried to take one member at a time, it will be hard, so they must try to match their numbers in order to fight them, as they have a lot of people from different schools. Seo Dong is amazed by the greed Kwan Ho carries as he learned of his intention to get the second year covered as well. Kwan Ho asks him if he is opposed to the plan, to which Seo Dong suggests that he is not, and that if anything, he is very excited about the prospect. Seo Dong then asks him how many people are there in the Neem, to which Kwan Ho answers that there are about 40 people in there. Seo Dong is shocked by the number and asks just how would they gather that many people. Kwan Ho suggests that they can try various ways, maybe even try and take people from other schools, because there shouldn't be any restrictions within Kusit. Seo Dong asks him how many people does he intend to get before engaging Bang Suk's Neem, to which Kwan Ho suggests that they should at least try and get to 70% of the people that Neem has. Seo Dong says that they must need another 10 or so members for that to happen. Either they should get 10 people, or they should get one very strong guy that can be the equivalent of said 10 people. That is where it all ties up, as they see Kongdae as someone who can be as strong as 10 people. Sometime later, Kongdae and Kwan Ho shake hands to officially commemorate their partnership. Kongdae tells Kwan Ho that he better not make this experience boring after persuading him to join the group so much. Kwan Ho says that he shouldn't worry about that, as he will get to have tons of fights and will be more than satisfied with what's to come for him in the future. Saying this, Kwan Ho starts to walk away from there, but Kong calls out to him and asks him about how strong he is when compared to someone like Seo Dong. To which Kwan Ho smirks and tells him that he will find that out himself in the coming times. Kong is upset from the nothing answer and says that Kwan Ho is a very boring person for that, and he tells him that in the future he will be the one dragging Kwan Ho down his throne so that he can claim the title of king for himself. Kwan Ho finds this quite funny and says that he can try his best. Subsequently, Kongdae turns his attention to Seo Dong and tells him that the first person he is looking to drag down will definitely be Seo Dong. He promises to take over his spot and enact revenge for what he had done to him today. Seo Dong is not as cool-headed as Kwan Ho, so he tells Kongdae that he has no chance of doing that and that he is willing to bet his manhood on that. Kongdae says that he is looking forward to take Seo Dong's spot and manhood at the same time. In that case, as things start to get heated, Go Young-bae, the seventh in charge of the Kusit, tells everyone to calm down so that they can go out and have a smoke instead. Just as this is put forward as a plan, both Pyongjun and Kim Bu-mo go different ways. Young-bae is confused by this, and he calls out to Pyongjun to ask him to join them, but Soon-jun tells him that he wants to sleep now. Young-bae turns his attention to Kim Bu-mo and asks him to do the same thing, but Kim Bu-mo makes it clear that he has quit smoking. Young-bae is a bit taken aback by this, but Yui, the number 6 of Kusit, tells Young-bae to read the room and not escalate this any further. Yui then thinks to himself about how things are obviously going bad for both Pyongjun and Kim Bu-mo, as both of them expected to grab the second-in-charge spot of Kusit. However, they have been suddenly pushed back down the line by Seo Dong, who they haven't even fought yet, and who looks to be much stronger. He wonders what will be the repercussions of this sudden development in their group, as Pyongjun and Kim Bu-mo are both looking pretty evidently pissed about this weird situation as a whole. Next up, Nam-ji is preparing himself for an outing by dressing up well for the occasion. Nam-ji's mother sees this, and it makes her happy that her son is being normal like this. She tries to spice things up by teasing Nam-ji a little by asking him if he was going to meet someone special today because he seems to have prepared himself quite well for the occasion. Nam-ji obviously denies this. However, a blush could be seen flashing across his cheeks as he feels giddy about the situation. The scene moves forward as we get to see So-ye standing alone near a stop, when suddenly Nam-ji calls out her name. So-ye is overjoyed by this, and she quickly scoots over to Nam-ji. Seeing him for the first time in a while, she is very happy, but she also asks him why hadn't he contacted her at all during this entire time. Nam-ji's reasoning for this is that he had a lot of things on his hands, but So-ye feels like he should have still called her regardless of that. So-ye is pleasantly surprised to see the physical transformation of Nam-ji, saying that he must have already grown past 180 centimeters by now. Just then, a loud voice is heard, and it is none other than Yuri, who comes running towards So-ye and gives her a big hug. Yuri further goes on to kiss her on the cheeks, while Nam-ji adding that Yuri hasn't changed a bit. So-ye holds Yuri's hands and feels that it had gotten a lot rougher than before. Yuri takes her hand away and says that it is nothing important, but So-ye offers to give her some lotion, which Yuri politely rejects. Yuri then changes the topic quickly as she turns her attention to Nam-ji. As she goes over to him, Yuri teases her a bit and feels up his newly gained muscle mass. Yuri is shocked by this and asks Nam-ji if he has been putting the work in the gym for him to have achieved such noticeable gains. She also calls for So-ye to come forward and check out his new muscles because they're incredible. Right at that moment, their other friend Ha Bin shows up and says hi to everyone. Everyone accepts him right away to the family. The four of them go to a cafe and start enjoying their day. It felt like nothing had happened, and the four of them were just back to being normal again. So Ye explains her happiness to have met everyone, stating that it felt incredible to her. To Yuri's agreement, Habin is curious about Namji, so he asks him how he was doing all this time. Namji is a bit uncomfortable, but he answers that he has been doing his thing lately. He also decides that it is the correct time to tell his friends about the plan he has cooked up. He tells his plan to move away next year, and before that he wants to take revenge for what the Kusit did to them. Everyone is shocked by this, as they don't think this is something they should go for. Yuri says that while he might have gained some muscles, he will still be of no match to Kusit. However, Namji has his priorities set straight. He says that he must get things straight before he leaves. Habin doesn't support this, but he states that even if Namji manages to somehow take revenge on the Kusit, he needs to know that the school is a different place than what it was, and that they will not change so quickly because they aren't even the root of the problem. We go to the school where the Kusfits, led by Kwan Ho, enters the classroom of the second years to confront Bang Suk and his Neem. The members of the Neem are quite offended by this, and they ask how dare a mere group of first-year students enter their ground. Kwan Ho politely introduces himself as Kwan Ho Kwang and apologizes to the second years beforehand, as he goes on to announce that from now onwards the Kusfits are going to own the entire school. This statement gains reactions from the members of Neem, as some are pissed, some find it quite cute and funny, while others are just weirded out by this. However, Bang Suk takes this very normally, as he tells Kwan Ho that there is no point in joking around here, so if they really want to fight, they should step up and get more people on their side. However, Kwan Ho is straight to the point. He lays out the challenge for the Neem as he tells them to show up at 12 o'clock in the night near the parking lot that is next to the civilian park. He tells them that the Kusfit will be waiting for their arrival. Young Suk is quite literally stunned by the bluntness and asks if Kwan Ho has gone mad all of a sudden, because can they even handle the Neem? However, the Neem members are much more direct, as they prepare right then to teach the kids a lesson as they go forward. Bang Suk orders them to stop, saying that they should let them go for now, as such exciting prospects don't show up so often. He tells his members to just follow the terms as asked by the Kusfit and meet them at the parking lot after 12 o'clock a.m. He adds that they will do this to check just how strong their underclassmen are. The Kusfit walks away from the room after this. Following that, the Kusfit are having a meeting at the rooftop where Kong Dae asks why do they have to wait for the night to attack. Couldn't they have just beaten the crap out of them then and there? Kwan Ho replies to this by saying that if they had fought at the school again, they'd be put behind the bars again. However, he agrees that there is no reason for them to wait until the night, saying that they will be the ones striking first in this battle. A meeting is also being held by the Neem, and they have the exact same idea as well. They state that they can't be waiting until the night to attack those kids. They should attack them before they realize it and teach them a lesson on how to behave with upperclassmen. Meanwhile, the Kusfits are planning out their strategy in detail. Kwan Ho states that he wants himself, Seo Dong, Jine, and Pyeongjun to be the ones to team up and start the attack. Meanwhile, Kim Bu-mo, Kongdae, and Yuang can follow up on that with the rest of the group. As this is going on, Bang Suk tells the Neem to pick any 3 random guys from the normal group to go and keep an eye on the first years and their activities. He tells Lee Jun to take the 30 remaining guys and go to the parking lot to settle the pacing, while he orders the top 3 who are immediately under his rank to come with him as they get ready to destroy the Kusfit. However, oblivious to this, Kwan Ho and the Kusfit are quite pleased with their setup. This was the case until a young Bae shows up and tells Kwan Ho that he can't contact Pyeongjun and Seo Dong no matter how much he tries. Quan Ho Kwang realizes just how much of a pickle they are in now, as they are without some of the strongest assets they had to offer and with very little time. Just then, a fight is shown taking place between another member and Seo Dongjin, who both get bloodied and knocked down after an exhausting fight. Seo Dong notes that this is very bad for them because they can't win this fight. He says that the longer it goes on for, the tougher it would be for the Kusfit to survive, which is why they must need to go for a full burst. A mini flashback is shown an hour before the current situation, where Quan Ho Kwang tells everyone that there is 30 minutes left for them until they go and char the second years at their D. Kim Bu Mo was still there, so he was given the order to go and gather everyone. Meanwhile, Pi Jun, who was also present, and Seo Dong Jane were told that they have to be with the Quan Ho. Quan Ho states that they need to be careful, because when it comes to fighters, the rumors about them being good at this fighting game spreads quickly, which makes it easier to track them and study them. It is stated that Bang Suk is a very strong individual himself. However, despite that, there isn't anyone out who saw Bang Suk fight, which is why he is going to be extremely hard to deal with when the war eventually begins. However, Quan Ho finds it rather strange that despite having over 40 people in his group and taking over 2 different schools, no one has witnessed Suk in an actual fight. He decides that it means Suk doesn't indulge in these big-scale fights. Instead, he opts to order his underlings around, and once they are done, he gets the final hit in. Quan Ho suggests that they can use this bit of information to their advantage. He says that Suk is going to be using the same tactic he always uses. If they attack them first, it will be a bad situation for Kusit, as they will have to go head first into the much stronger and bigger. However, if they send 20 of their regular guys to fight the seniors, they will create a good distraction. They will then take advantage of this distraction by creeping up behind Ban Suk and attacking him. Quan Ho suggests that he, Pi Jun, and Seo Dong Jane should do this. They will fight off of the people coming their way to protect Ban Suk before taking out the big dog by themselves, and once they are done taking care of their leader, their morale would go down significantly. This will allow Kusit to pick them apart and win this with ease. Seo Dong likes the role that he has gotten, saying that he will thrive in such a role. Afterward, he suggests that he needs to go out and take a smoke to calm down the nerves. Kyo Jun notices this and asks to take a stroll outside himself. Now back to the current time, Quan Ho regrets letting those 2 go, especially considering how integral they were to the plan. Besides that, those guys are a big part of the group. He wonders just what had happened for them to suddenly disappear before their first fight with Neem. A thought that they were attacked by the Neem crossed his mind. Meanwhile, Ban Suk calls one of his hidden spies to check up on the situation of Kusit. The guy reports that the group has gathered on a rooftop to discuss about various plans. He states that this seems to be their regular meetup place anyway. Suk asked him how many of them had gathered there. The guy replies that about 15 of them have gathered, which is not a problem. The 20 people from Neem who are going to go at them are easily going to beat them. At the rooftop, Quan Ho was asking his underlings if they had seen Pi Jun and Seo Dong since they left. All of them are a bit clueless about this, but Jung speaks up saying that he had seen them go to the parking lot not long ago. This leaves Quan Ho perplexed as he wonders how they knew that they were going to the parking lot. Clears it up by saying that they didn't go to the parking lot he thinks they went to. Instead, they went to the school parking lot. This immediately shocks Quan Ho. On the other hand, Suk makes a call to another spy who was tracking Seo Dong. He asks him about what is happening with Seo Dong, to which the guy replies that he went inside the parking lot with the giant who was fighting the other day, and to his surprise, the 2 started fighting between themselves. We get to see the fight taking place between Seo Dong and Piang Jun. The fight is fast-paced and hard-hitting. It is based on Piang using his raw strength, while Seo Dong uses his skills to dodge and land quick counterpunches. Both guys have immaculate stamina, which is why even though both of them land huge shots on one another, it's simply not enough to knock them out. At one point, Pi Sung tries to land a hard right hook on Seo Dong. Seo Dong manages to bob out of the way before hitting Piang with an atomic uppercut. This sends Pi-ung a few steps back, but he retaliates quickly. Pi-ung flies in despite his huge body with a kick. It lands and sends Seo Dong flying back down to the ground while Piang also falls. Both guys are hurt and at their limits. Seo Dong wonders what had happened to Piang. He isn't the same guy who was almost defeated by Kim Bu-mo. He now seems like a totally different entity, much stronger, much more skilled. Seo Dong tries to call a truce as they have a fight to do. He states that they can do it later, but now they need to focus on the bigger goal. He says that if they continue fighting between each other, the Kus Fits will lose to Neem and they'll lose embarrassingly. Kyo Sung replies that he simply doesn't care about it. He jumps in with another hook, but as Seo Dong dodges, he gets him in the clinch. Piang says he already knows Seo Ung's weakness and he will exploit it. He starts ramming in knees to Seo Ung's body, and while Seo Dong tries to block, the knees just pierce through the block. Seo Dong understands that it is useless to block against such an attack. Piang, while going full Muay Thai on Seo Dong, adds that he doesn't care about the delinquent business. The only thing that holds substance to him is the argument of who is stronger. He then leaves the clinch and hits a massive punch to Seo Dong, knocking him down. Kyo Sung says that he will beat up Kwan Ho next. That will once and for all prove to everyone that he is the strongest. Saying this, Piang goes for the final blow to finish off Seo Dong, while Seo Dong also tries to muster up strength to make a comeback of his own. Both of them are too careless to block, which is why both of them land their blows simultaneously. They both get shaken up by the long fight that is going on. Piang Jin wonders how Seo Dong is still standing. He compares the experience of fighting Seo Dong to something like fighting a zombie. He keeps getting back up even though it feels like that he is one punch away from winning it. It isn't working out, so he strengthens his resolve, vowing to land the one big shot to finish it off. Meanwhile, Seo Dong wonders just how strong and resilient Piang is. He can't really keep up with his strength and his defense. It feels like a concrete wall. He wonders how he can win this fight and comes to the conclusion that he needs to land a few hundred quick punches. That way he will be able to finish off the fight and make sure that they don't spend any longer in it than what they need to. He decides to make it short from here on to minimize the damage they take. The fight resumes and turns into a battle of stamina and composure. Pio Sang goes for the big punch right away, but Seo Dong swiftly dodges and hits a counterpunch of his own. This shakes up Piang and allows Seo Dong to start his rapid-fire non-stop combos. The combo is too quick and it starts hitting Piang. He tries his best to block against it, but the quantity and speed of the blow makes it very hard for him. Seo Dong keeps punching without stopping at all. After a few hundred punches, suddenly it felt like the concrete wall was cracking up. Piung shows signs of grogginess as he goes down to his knees. Seo Dong starts hitting faster than ever to finish it, but Piang has other ideas. Piang knows he can't lose and he knows that it's not always about who lands the most hits. Piskar retaliates back with a powerful punch to Seo Dong, which creates separation. Pai wants to finish it off with one big move instead of many quick ones like Seo Dong. Kyo charges right towards Seo Dong. Seo Dong realizes that Piang is about to attempt to take down slam on him, just like how he did against Bu Mo, which is why Seo Dong pushes his upper body forward, leaning on his front foot to block the takedown. As Pi-ung tries it, he feels that something is wrong, and Seo Dong calls him out for his lack of wits. Seo Dong says that Piang must have thought he can't block a takedown just because he boxes. He states that while he has never officially trained to wrestle, he does know enough. He is also aware of how wrestlers often feel invincible while going for takedown, leaving their neck open, which is why Seodong locks in an informal guillotine choke on Piang. Back to Neem's meeting, Bonsuk realizes that they have Kusit number. He feels that now is the perfect chance to attack them when the main squad is busy strategizing for something else, and two of the strongest are infighting. He feels this will be a fun and easy fight. He orders his guys to change the plan. He tells Li Jin to go to the construction site roof with 30 other guys to beat up the main squad, while he, the 3 immediately under him, and 10 more guys will go to the school parking lot to take out those other 2. Subsequently, Quan Ho Kwang receives the news of Neem making the first move. He tells everyone that they've attacked the school gym parking lot. Just as they're about to head that way, Li Jin, the number 5 of Neem, arrives. He tells them to wait and brings out the 30 other guys that came with him. They surround Kusit from all sides. Quan Ho notices that about 30 guys are here and Bansuk is not included, which is why he believes that this is a good opportunity for them as they have strong guys like Kim Bu Mo and Kong Dae Jun here, which means they don't need more people. He then tells Kong Dae Jun that he wants him and the rest of the squad to fight here while he goes and fights Bansuk. Kong Dae finds the leader versus leader aspect to be quite cool, and he assures Quan Ho that he will take care of this place. A fight quickly breaks out which sees Kusit dominating. Kong Dae puts on a clinic with his wild style, throwing haymakers and spinning kicks. Quan Ho also fights on his way out, beating up people with his accurate punches and knees. All the other guys are also doing quite well as the line clears up for Quan Ho to leave. Kong Dae tells him to go and says that he will follow him after he is done here. Quan Ho tells him that there is no need as he will be done before them. This ignites some healthy competition as Kong Dae says that he would love to have a race. Meanwhile, back at the school gym parking lot, Seodong still has the guillotine locked in. He prays for Piang to stay down and not fight and just pass out. However, Piang picks him up like a kid from the lock. Seodong understands that he had miscalculated all of this. Piang asks Seodong if he really thought that he can hold down someone like him with his light body. Seodong notices something and tells him to wait a bit. However, Piang makes fun of him. He asks him if he is begging now because he knows that the end is imminent. Seodong shuts him down, telling him that he should look behind. Piang lets go of Seodong, and as he turns around, he sees 10 or so members of the Neem leading them was the leader Bansuk. The Neem wasted no time in going after the 2. A particular group targets Seodong first as he looked tired and was bleeding a lot. However, they are met with some thunderous punches by Seodong, knocking them out. Seodong makes it clear that he might look like he is tired, but he is anything but. He claims to be as good as new, and he proves that statement by knocking out all oncoming Neem members. Jun and On Ha Jun, the number 4 and number 3 of Neem respectively, watch the fight with interest. They talk about how Seodong Jin is not bad at all for a guy who is this beat up. However, they feel like there is nothing special about him. The duo then approach Seodong and attack him in tandem. They attack him right away, throwing a quick combo of punches at Seodong. Seodong easily manages to dodge them because this is his style of fighting. The duo quickly realize that this isn't working, so they switch over to a kicking style. An Ha Jun executes a jumping, spinning hook kick, which Seodong barely moves out of the way from, but he gets hit by a hard kick to the leg by Jun. They are happy to pull off the team move. The leg kick leaves Seodong a bit unbalanced, but rage moves him forward. Seodong throws a quick right towards Ha Jun, but he ends up hitting one of his underlings. Ha Jun had used one of his underlings as a human shield. The duo talk about how real fighters use anything they have near them as an object to fight, and how they as a group believe in the art of teamwork. Saying this, the duo goes for their next team move. Ha Jun goes for a roundhouse kick to the abdomen. Seodong blocks this but feels the impact. However, this leaves his head open, and Sun-un capitalizes on it by hitting a head kick that knocks him back a few meters. The duo then order the rest of the squad to put on a stomp show on Seo-dong. As the squad are about to do so, Kung knocks one of them out. He says that he won't let them do it. He goes on about how he never invited them to fight here, and if they have any wish to live, they should leave the scene immediately. Ha-jun and Ji-han finds this hilarious and wonders why the first years are so disrespectful towards their seniors. The two of them, alongside 3 other Neem guys, surrounds Pai-in and tells him to read the room before trying to act like a hero.